relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good morning, 9:01. We have 34 degrees. Look for a wintry mix today along and south of 94, dry to the north with minor slushy accumulations. High today 37. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. 15-year-old charged with stabbing his mother to death in the village of Caledonia returns to court today. Reed Galinsky charged as an adult after prosecutors say he planned to kill both his parents and was inspired by a recent documentary about the Menendez brothers. Racine County District Attorney Patricia Hansen. Galinsky being held on $1 million.
Was not just for the one victim, but for two.
Galinsky being held on $1 million bond. He'll be allowed supervised contact with his father through the Juvenile Detention Center. A Waukesha County judge rules the Slender Man stabbing defendant Morgan Geyser can proceed with conditional release.
The state has not met its burden by clear and convincing evidence to show that Ms. Geyser is a risk of safety to herself, danger to herself, or danger to others.
Judge Michael Boren upholding his January decision. In a petition to revoke her release, the state had raised concerns about a book Geyser read containing violent themes and contact she had with a man who fixated on her violent past. But Geyser's medical team, including Dr. Ken Robbins, testified.
My opinion hasn't changed. I continue to believe that Ms. Geyser should be released under conditional release.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Newly released court documents reveal frantic text messages by the surviving roommates on the night of the 2022 Idaho college murders that could be used at trial. Attorneys for Brian Koberger want the exchanges kept out of his August trial, claiming it's hearsay. The 4 students were stabbed to death. Weaker than expected jobs report shows 151,000 jobs were created last month. The unemployment rate rose slightly to 4.1%. Federal Reserve officials signaled this week that the monthly jobs report will likely have little impact on its current policy stance. Meanwhile, ABC's Mary Bruce reports on a new temporary break this morning for American businesses, fearing those new steep tariffs against Canadian and Mexican imported goods.
President Trump with a dizzying reversal, allowing Mexico and Canada to avoid 25% tariffs on many goods just days after imposing them. But the retreat not enough to calm anxious investors. Amid the whiplash, the Dow dropping Thursday more than 400 points. The president insists Wall Street wasn't a factor in his decision.
Tariffs on China in the U.S. are not helping businesses that rely on exporting goods to the country. Will Su is a ginseng farmer based in Wausau, tells WTMJ how the current tariffs are limiting his shipping of ginseng to overseas markets like China and Taiwan.
You don't import as much into China, you don't export as much to China. That's really how you deal with it. The idea, I think, is to try to bring people to the negotiating table or have exporters find new markets.
Sue says with a limit on how much ginseng he can ship to his top customers, he has had to shrink his farm and eliminate some employees from his farm. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are up. Dow up 39 points. NASDAQ up 93 this hour. The S&P 500 is up 17. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:04.
Things are getting even cheaper at Fleet Farm during Chick Days, March 6th through the 12th. We've got the most popular poultry breeds, all at the best prices guaranteed. Plus, get great deals on other chickening needs, too, like 20% off Little Giant feeders and waterers. 40 pounds of Nature-Wise protein crumble is on sale for $16.99. And Kamek and Tamarack boots for the coop are all 25% off. Eggers, Leghorns, Reds. Now's the best time to get them during Fleet Farm Chick Days.
Are you ready to embark on a voyage like no other? At Fox World Travel, our specialty cruise desk creates unforgettable cruise experiences just for you. Explore the serene Mediterranean, the exotic Caribbean, or the breathtaking beauty of Alaska. We partner with top cruise lines including Celebrity, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, and Viking. Enjoy personalized itineraries, exclusive deals, and expert guidance. From booking to boarding, we manage all the details for a stress-free experience. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO, press 2, and mention code RADIO to start planning.
James Imaging Systems, local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizon, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks hope to extend their winning streak tonight. Team tips off against the Magic from Fiserv. Bucks have won 4 straight. They improved to 36-25. Wisconsin basketball looking to end the regular season strong. 12th-ranked Badgers tip off against Penn State tomorrow afternoon from Kohl Center. Wisconsin's won 2 of 3, improves to 23-7. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. 3rd seed Milwaukee fell to number 6 Oakland 72-64 in the Horizon League tournament. Number 20 Marquette closes out the regular season against number 6 St. John's tomorrow morning. And the Brewers shut out the Athletics 10-0 in spring training baseball from Mesa. Milwaukee improves to 6-7 in exhibition play and will square off against the Padres this afternoon. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Pretty quiet out there right now. There is a road work closure. They're doing some work on the ramp. The ramp is closed at I-94 North. That's the on-ramp from Silver Spring Drive. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. A wintry mix along and south of 94. It's going to be mostly dry to the north with just some minor slushy accumulations. A high of 37. Partly cloudy tonight to a low of 23. Partly cloudy and 45 tomorrow. Then we've got sunshine Sunday and Monday. Sunday's high 52. Monday up to 58. Partly cloudy, mild Tuesday with a high of 55. 32 in Madison and in Green Bay. 36 now in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time. 9:08.
Good morning, Wisconsin. So let's pour that coffee and talk to some experts about what's going on in Milwaukee, Madison, Washington, and beyond. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. It's the Political Power Hour on WTMJ. Here's your host, Steve Scaffidi.
Should we talk about the government?
Yeah, it's Friday. Let's do it. Let's talk about the government. Who better to do that with than my regular Friday contributors? Joseph Pecky in studio. Let's get your mic on. You good? Say something.
Good morning.
All right. It seems quiet to me. Maybe it's my headphones again. All right. And on the road for the third straight week, Bill McCoshen. Where does this Friday find you, Mr. McCoshen?
Sunny Florida.
Oh, look at you.
Mr. Remote Work over here. Again.
A bit of a weather flex from Mr. McCoshen. All right, I'm going to let you start, Bill. Big week. The president addresses Congress. What's your takeaways from that address?
Big night for the president. He was able to talk about the accomplishments he and his team have had in the first 40 days. And you know what? The people who watched it, I think the numbers are around 35 million. It's lower than his first term for sure, but higher than the last couple of State of the Unions. This technically wasn't a State of the Union because that doesn't happen the first February after the election. But 76% of the people that watched it in the CBS poll said they liked it, thought it was positive, uplifting, inspirational. 69% of people in the CNN poll liked it, the flash poll right after the speech. So I think he got what he needed out of it politically. I think he unified the Republican base behind his agenda and his messaging, which will be very helpful to him going forward. And I'll say this and give my friend Joe an opportunity to respond. I don't think Democrats covered themselves in glory on Tuesday night. This was an opportunity in several circumstances. You can disagree about policy, and frankly, that's expected. But when you're highlighting an American success story or a comeback or somebody overcoming the odds, which is uniquely American, I mean, those are things we should all be able to celebrate. And sort of the toxicity of our politics today, the American people got to see it, that Democrats couldn't even stand for a 13-year-old kid who, overcame brain cancer and was appointed to the Secret Service by Trump. Yeah, there's a little theatrics in State of the Unions. There always is, going back probably since the beginning of time. Tommy Thompson, my old boss, used to do these with State of the States on a regular basis. So I think Trump got what he needed. Having been to a Trump rally, I think this was better because he stayed on message and didn't do his weave. So I think ultimately he'll get a short-term bump on the polling, and I think long-term he's going to get the benefit of having united the Republicans completely behind his agenda.
Your response, Joe?
Well, he needs the short-term bump because his numbers are going in the wrong direction. But let me talk about the speech for a second. Like, I'm not going to sit here and suggest that there weren't parts of it that were effective for him and that were actually really good. He does benefit from a little bit of structure because, to Bill's point, once he starts weaving, he can get way off topic very, very quickly. What I would add, though, is there was no defining moment that is going to stand the test of time or that is going to echo throughout history. There was no FDR Four Freedoms. There was no LBJ War on Poverty. There was no Bill Clinton, the era of big government is over. There wasn't even a George W. Bush axis of evil. Those were all either joint addresses to Congress or States of the Union. It was pretty small. Like, for a president of the United States who believes he has a mandate to have to stand there and go, Joe Biden was the worst president in history. It's like, dude, you lost to the guy once and you barely beat his number two the next time. Like the calling Senator Warren Pocahontas, that's just small. It was more like stand-up night at the Yuck Yuck Club for big stretches of it. And I think his minders, his staff, would have preferred something shorter than the 100 minutes that it was for a lot of those reasons. And Bill put it, Democrats didn't cover themselves in glory. The Democratic Party is trying to find its way. The fact that there were sort of three different things going on, some people had signs, some people wearing pink, Al Green standing up and shaking his cane. Like, yeah, I don't think any of those were particularly good looks, but also I didn't think it was a good look when Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert stood up and were hollering at Joe Biden when he was president. And I actually think, like, when you compare those two moments, the Republicans in the building did the Democrats a favor by just drowning out Al Green, as opposed to when Biden and Margie got into it, and Biden kind of came out of that exchange better. So it's a lot of theater, it's a lot of ridiculous, and a couple weeks from now, nobody's going to remember it.
Here's a distinction, though. When Boebert and Green did it, it eventually fired up the base, and it elected Donald Trump as president, who is now the president of the United States. I'm not sure that whatever we saw Tuesday night and all these different formats and versions of protest against the president's words and actions, that's going to lead to what Democrats would like to see, which is a Democratic candidate who's powerful enough to beat whoever the Republicans put up, whether that's, I almost feel crazy saying it, Donald Trump or somebody else. I mean, I don't see the connection between those two things. They're kind of the same thing. They both shouted in Congress, in the halls of Congress, but I don't know that the next step of this is going to be the same.
Yeah, here's my spiciest.
Joe's very good at this. Joe is an optics guy, so am I. Optics and politics make a big, big difference, and I don't think the optics for Democrats were good at all in any scenario on Tuesday night. Where I disagree with my friend Joe, and listeners know I have a great deal of respect for him, I think there was one defining moment when Trump said the two issues that mattered the most in the 24 election were closing the border or immigration and the economy. On immigration, he said, we were told that we needed this big, beautiful bill in order to close the border when all we needed was a new president. I think that was the defining moment of the speech, for sure, and it is one that will last for months, if not the entire term.
Lots more to talk about with Bill McCoshen and Joseph Pecky. We're just getting warmed up on the Friday edition, the origin story of the Political Power Hour on 620 WTMJ.
He's going to fire up a three for the win, and he hit it! Game time has arrived! Lobs to Giannis, who flushes it in with one hand. Lillard, three-pointer for the lead! It's game time! Green going to fire up a three from the top of the arc, and he sends the ball to line. Takes it down the lane. He'll lay it in with another foul. Oh, baby! The Greek Freak is unleashed.
The sound of the Bucks is here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Yes, I've been reading those texts and those emails. It works. I've been on the journey for about a month now, a month and a half, let's say, and I've already lost 33 pounds. It's the secret to losing weight fast and fat every day. Their doctors have developed easy-to-follow weight loss program. Trust me, it's easy. Helps you lose weight fast, naturally, safely, with no drugs, no injections, no risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, no exercise required unless you want to. Their program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach, and they have great coaches for ongoing support. Their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, schedule your free consultation. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Look at me. I'm a success story. You can be too. It's crazy to see the weight come up, but it feels awesome. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Regular Friday lineup. Bill McCoshen in Florida on the road, and Joe Zepecki in studio along with me. Who talked last? You talked last, Joe?
No, Bill got the last take.
All right.
I did.
I want to talk about something. Joe just reminded me that in the speech on Tuesday, not too much conversation about inflation or what is going on with the economy. The prices of what I was told, gas and groceries was one of the big issues. Joe, what's happening here?
A 100-minute speech, 2 minutes devoted to inflation, and all of it was blaming the other guy. These types of addresses are moments to, Bill believes that it brought the Republican Party together behind his agenda. I'm not so sure, at least not in the traditional sense. Now, Trump is not traditional, so maybe this is the right way to do it. But you could see a scenario where, with the government running out of money next week, the 14th is a looming deadline. You've got to raise the debt ceiling, and then he's got this big, beautiful bill that he's talking about, a reconciliation package. He didn't spend as much time as I would have anticipated talking about what he wants to see, why he wants to see it, why it's right for the country. That is sort of politics 101, is make the case for what you're trying to get done. And you have an administration right now where this flurry of activity is driving his numbers down. People are pretty upset about some of the mass firings. He's moving too fast. There's no audits. It's sort of ready, fire, aim. Why not spell it out? And he didn't take that opportunity amidst a week where, frankly, the markets weren't doing well. The reaction to the on-again, off-again tariff stuff is roiling the markets. And, it's typical Trump, where there's just chaos and noise, and it's hard to find signal.
Bill, on the economy issue, you've told me in the past, give them time, give them April, give them May. But people, I get really, really sensitive. Trust me, I read the text line about their 401ks. They get really sensitive about the price of eggs, things that we are told. Matter of fact, the president, Donald J. Trump, said, day one, we're fixing this. Has he floundered on the economic side of things?
I don't think there's been enough attention paid to it. I mean, and Joe and I aren't going to disagree by much here. I think he could have spent more time sort of explaining the curve on what it's going to take to rebuild this economy. I think some of the building blocks are clearly evident, whether it's Apple putting $500 billion into the United States, or a major new LNG plant going down in New Orleans for the first time in more than a generation. Things like that are going to have an impact, but they're going to take some time. So here would be my advice to the White House staff on this. I think on these tariffs, they have to be consistent. You can't have one version of a tariff one week and a different version another week. I think where he's trying to get to on April 2nd, which he did say in the speech, is reciprocal tariffs. We'll charge you what you charge us. I think that's understandable for people. I think it's more predictable. I think he's more likely to get the outcome that he wants. So I think they need to now start to laser focus on the economy from the top down. And everything that they do has to be about rebuilding the U.S. economy, creating more jobs here, bringing businesses back, and ultimately lowering prices. So I think that is an opportunity for the Trump team over the next 100 days. And I think the first step of that, obviously, will be the reconciliation bill, which, again, I don't think we'll see until after the special elections in the House, which happen on April 1st. So we're probably 3 or 4 weeks away from that. But, I think by summertime, if people don't start to feel a little less burden when they go to the grocery store, a gas pump actually has come down since Inauguration Day. Gas prices are down statewide about 30 cents. But egg prices are not, and a lot of other consumer goods are not. And those are things that Donald Trump did get elected on. I agree with Joe. He's got to spend more time focusing on that.
Beyond the economic impact of tariffs, and I talked to sort of a mid-tier manufacturer, the CEO, and he said, I don't think the president has any idea what tariffs actually do or how it impacts the customers or actually the businesses that produce things. So I'll set that aside. What he's doing with these tariffs with countries like Mexico and Canada, Europe to some extent, is pissing off our allies so we don't have a friend in the world. And that, Bill, that concerns me.
Well, let me jump in real quick
Joe.
and just say this. The absurdity of this, you have to kind of think about it for 30 seconds. But he's sitting here and saying we're going to slap these tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Who the hell negotiated these trade deals? These are terrible.
Yeah.
He did. He had the updated NAFTA during his first term, and he's like, no, we're just going to rip it up and start over. It's like he is someone who is focused on himself and not telling a story about what he needs, what his vision for the American economy is, because he can't stop beating his chest and pointing at himself and would rather rename the Gulf of Mexico than actually spend any time communicating to the American people. When I say there might be a little short-term turbulence and short-term pain for long-term gain, he's not telling anybody what the hell the long-term gain's going to be.
And there was an adjustment this week. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, said that items covered under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement will not be part of the tariffs. That should have been from day one, right? Those are things that he negotiated. Biden didn't change. That should have been consistent from day one. So let me just quickly talk about geopolitics. I think where this has actually been counterproductive is Canada. And here's how. Pierre Poilievre, who is the leader of the conservative movement up there, 3 months ago was winning in all mock elections by more than 30%. Now the Liberals are within striking distance, and Trudeau, the current prime minister, has decided, I'm not sure I'm going to call any elections. I'm not sure that was in Trump's interest. He should have done everything he could to support Poilievre and push Trudeau out sooner. I think he'd have a better relationship with Canada. And if I'm advising the White House, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to lift up Poilievre and push Trudeau over the side.
Wow, what a surprise. Trump working against his own interests. All right, after the break, Joseph Becky, Bill McCoshen, Supreme Courts and courts in general pushing back strongly on the flood of executive actions. We'll discuss in the news. We're just getting warmed up on this Friday. Join us, WTMJ.com.
Spanning the State with Kristen Bry.
This is a terrible bill. This would probably disproportionately affect Republican women. This is a slippery slope if you start making it harder for women to vote, because there's enough people out there who would rather we didn't.
And Brian Noonan.
Say women were in charge, and this was going for men. Men would take to the streets. Any group that votes against their own self-interest baffles me.
Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
Don't think twice. Call Dice.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with the new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geiss's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geissdoors.com. Geiss has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geiss at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geiss. Visit them online at geissdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here. So I was looking at some of the bushes that have overgrown on my property, and I love our yard, but I need dormant pruning. That's what takes place during the winter when it's safe to cut back things so you have healthier trees and bushes around your house. Check right now to see if you've got stuff scraping against the siding or needs to be cut back, and schedule it now. Design Build landscaping projects are a year-round topic. Landworks Wisconsin does it the right way every time. They help people achieve their outdoor dreams by creating beautiful landscapes. I love these guys. LandworksWisconsin.com. Check them out today.
Thanks for tuning in on this Friday or finding us online. We're all over the place. This popular show on Friday. I love talking to the guys. Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist. Joe Sapecki on the Democratic side of the aisle. All right, so the courts, we'll start with you, Bill. The courts pushed back a little bit on Donald Trump when it comes to the spending part, money that's already been allocated by Congress. I think this case it was $2 billion, but they've said, you know what? No. And there was a 5-4 decision to conservative justices, Roberts and Coney Barrett, saying no, which sort of presented itself interestingly enough at the speech on Tuesday, where he sort of talked to John Roberts, ignored Coney Barrett, and she gave him a glare that was amazing. Bill, are the courts, in this case Supreme Court or lower courts, saying to the president, this is not how it's done?
Not so fast, my friend.
No, hold on, buddy. What do you read out of that?
Yeah, we're going to see. I'm not sure that's going to be the final answer on all this. And frankly, from a legal or a political standpoint and a legal standpoint, what I would do if I was directed, and he was, is I would give the entities that are supposed to receive that $2 billion $1 each, $1. That's it. I would not send the money. I don't think the courts can direct the executive to spend money there is no clue on what that money is going to go to. I think ultimately he's going to be successful on it. I think it was a setback for this week. The Coney Barrett thing is odd because I was enormously impressed with her throughout the process. I mean, she was the one that went and did her testimony with not a single note. She had a notepad in front of her. She got asked to show her notes, and there was nothing on it. And she knew every answer inside and out. I mean, obviously super bright, well prepared. The question on the right now is she a conservative? Is she a true conservative jurist? And that's in question. And I'm told that some of that may have to do with her fear of how things went down over the last few years with the court and how partisan it had become. But we'll see how that shakes out. I think ultimately the executive power will be preserved and Trump will be able to do things. But in the short term, if he's got to send $1 versus $2 billion, I'd prefer that over sending money out with no accountability whatsoever.
What a surprise. Justice using her brain.
That's not what this is. There's so much going on. It's so hard even for us to track it all. The $2 billion at issue in this court case is for work already completed. Bill, this is Trump 101. Stiff contractors. People do work, you don't pay them. It is nonsense. They did the work, you pay them. Bill, you pay the people who work for your hockey team. You pay your employees. This is work that's already done. What are we talking about?
Oh, I love the energy. Love the passion. Joseph Pecky, Bill McCoshen. We are halfway through the Political Power Hour. Friday edition, the origin stories, I like to call it. We haven't even talked about Ukraine yet. We got local news with Connie Weber, but before we get to any of that, here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. New job numbers could be what drives your markets today. The Labor Department says healthcare companies were hiring in February, as were banks. 151,000 jobs created in all. ABC's Alexis Christoforous.
We saw some strength in financial services, also in transportation and warehousing. We did lose 10,000 federal jobs, federal workers last month. But, this report doesn't give us a full picture of the unemployment report. The data is collected mid-February.
And that's too early for the job cut announcements to really make a difference. 2 Army soldiers and a veteran are in custody, accused in an espionage and bribery scandal. They're believed to have been trying to sell military secrets to China. Travel disruptions continuing in Paris after an unexploded bomb from World War II was found beneath the train tracks, leading to France's busiest train station. We expect to get an update today on the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife, whose bodies were found in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home last week. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:31. I'm Connie Weber. The Wisconsin Elections Commission could take further action today regarding nearly 200 absentee ballots that went uncounted in Madison during the 2024 general election. The discussion comes one day after the firm Law Forward filed a lawsuit against the city and Dane County on behalf of a group of unidentified voters, arguing Madison clerk Marybeth Witzel-Bell disenfranchised their right to vote. An independent review earlier this year found there was no impact to the outcome of any election. 1 person dead, 2 kids in the hospital after a crash in Madison yesterday afternoon. Happened near Gammon and Raymond Roads just after 4 p.m. A high-speed T-bone 2-vehicle crash. Sunday night racing will officially continue at the Slinger Super Speedway. The track's been sold to Travis and Kelsey Dassow. Couple says they plan to keep the tradition of Sunday night racing at the nearly 80-year-old track. The 2025 racing season begins April 27th. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We've got down arrows on Wall Street. Dow off, not by a lot, 53 points, 42,525. The Nasdaq down 125 at 17,944. The S&P 500 down 31 at 5,707. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. It is still pretty quiet out there. Just one closure. This is for road work. The ramp on I-41 northbound. It's the on-ramp from Silver Spring Drive is going to be closed till about 2 this afternoon. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. A mix of rain and snow along and south of 94. Pretty dry to the north. Minor slushy accumulations, a high of 37. Partly cloudy 23 overnight. Partly cloudy 45 tomorrow. Then we've got sunshine Sunday and Monday. Highs in the 50s. Sunday 52. Monday up to 58. Tuesday partly cloudy, a little mild with a high of 55. 32 in Madison and Green Bay. 36 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 9:33.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If their issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Tariffs and the threat of their implementation have become a central part of the United States trade and foreign policy. We're just talking about them on the show. What are tariffs? How are they implemented? And what sectors of the economy could benefit if they're put in place? Join me, Steve Scaffidi, and Annex Wealth Management's Dave Spano, Chief Economist Brian Jacobson, March 11th. I believe that's next Tuesday, 1 p.m. for this very informative webinar. Learn how your portfolio and your financial plan might be impacted and affected by tariffs. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
Things are getting even cheaper at Fleet Farm during Chick Days, March 6th through the 12th. We've got the most popular poultry breeds, all at the best prices guaranteed. Plus, get great deals on other chickening needs too, like 20% off Little Giant feeders and waterers. 40 pounds of Nature-Wise protein crumble is on sale for $16.99. And Kamek and Tamarack boots for the coop are all 25% off. Eggers, Leghorns, Reds. Now's the best time to get them during Fleet Farm Chick Days.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Oh, yes. Let's get to it with Bill McCosh and Joseph Pecki, our strategist friends on this Friday edition of Political Power Hour, 620 WTMJ. I'm the host, Steve Scaffidi. Don't forget our podcasts are up and running. The latest from Kristen Bry. You need to listen. I take down Elon Musk. She says she won the conversation. Listen for yourself. I don't think she did. But I take down Elon Musk, and I had some harsh words for the richest man in the world. All right, gentlemen. Ukraine, the famous, I think it happened the day of our last show last week.
A couple hours after.
Yeah, Zelensky.
A week ago, yeah.
Yeah, Zelensky gets handed to him in the White House. J.D. Vance got all worked up, excited. His pants are still too short. But shortly after that, now we've frozen funds for Ukraine. Joe's going first, Joe. And I'll just tell you, I'm worried about this because I think we should be an ally of Ukraine. I don't feel that right now. What do you think?
It was one of the politics is my thing. Politics is what we often talk about. There are also moments that shouldn't have anything to do with politics. And whatever your politics, what happened in the Oval Office last Friday was shameful and embarrassing and not a good look for this country. America has been a country for 80 years that allies could count on and that adversaries feared. And the way that Trump and Vance comported themselves makes us look like we cannot be trusted. We should not be feared, that anybody who wants to roll a series of tanks over another country's borders, that the President of the United States, the embodiment of we the people, is going to say, at any cost, no matter what, we got to stop the bullets from flying. Your people are getting killed. I don't like war. I hate war. And everyone should. But there are also righteous fights. And the people of Ukraine are fighting for their freedoms and their liberty. And you don't see Donald Trump calling Bibi Netanyahu into the Oval Office and berating him and saying, too many people are dying in Gaza. That's it. Stop all the action. He doesn't do that. And you got to ask yourself why. And I don't know, but I will remind people that Trump, in his, what I've heard described as conspiracy Tourette's, when he goes off and starts talking Russia, 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 it's like Zelensky is the guy who Trump tried to extort when he was president the last time, and he got in trouble for it. And rather than admit any wrongdoing or shame or how inappropriate that was, it's like he blames Zelensky and thinks it's his fault when this guy is fighting to preserve his country's independence and freedom, and it was shameful. And I don't care what the politics are. That is not who the United States of America should be.
Bill.
I don't think there should be public spats like that in the Oval Office. But here's what happened. But first of all, let me just use a Nancy Reagan quote, just say no to drugs. I mean, I think there's a problem with Zelensky. There's multiple reports that the guy may have a potential drug problem, but just let's get the facts on the table. This deal had been in existence, this minerals deal, for about 3 weeks. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, went to Ukraine, met with Zelensky. They had a fight about this, but the structure of the deal was cooked in that meeting. Zelensky did not sign it at that time. He could have signed it 10 days later in Minsk with Marco Rubio. He chose not to sign it, but there was no disagreement on what the contents of that would be. Then he gets to the White House, and it's supposed to be pretty much pro forma. We're going to have a nice press conference, say all the right things, and then we're going to sign this deal. And the thing goes off the rails because he wants to renegotiate in public. I think he was ill-advised on this. I don't agree with Joe that Trump and Vance should have responded the way they did. I think they had to, because he's trying to renegotiate the deal in front of the American media, which was really poor form on his part. But let's stick on Zelensky. That night he goes on Bret Baier, 10 million people watch it. He says, whatever happened in the White House, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all going to work itself out. The next day he's in Europe taking money from Europeans, getting commitments from certain countries in Europe like the UK that they will put troops on the ground. By the way, the U.S. will never put troops on the ground, no matter what. And then 2 days after that, now Zelensky's apologizing, saying, what happened in the Oval Office was unfortunate. And then 2 days after that, this is all in a 7-day period of time. 2 days after that, he says, well, I'll never agree because Russia isn't a serious negotiator. So I don't know that he's a guy we can trust. He's all we have right now. We have to find a way to get this deal done. We have to try to find a way to get peace. But this guy is erratic, and I don't know if it's because of his personal issues or his inability
What are you
to see that.
talking about? Look, let's leave that out, because if you start throwing charges like that around, I'm going to go after Elon Musk for his admitted drug use, and he's everybody's poster boy for government efficiency. Look, even the opposition to Zelensky in Ukraine, this is not a breaking news story. They don't want elections. They're saying that. He is the president of the country right now. He's the guy we have to deal with. And the fact that they're trying to blow him up, literally, and his country is not a positive development for the United States of America. That's what pisses me off. The personalities, I know what Donald Trump is, I know what J.D. Vance is, and I certainly know what President Zelensky is. Right now, I'm on Zelensky's side on this. We've got to go to break. Bill McCosh and Joe Zepecki, Political Power Hour, 620 WTMJ.
Tune in this week from 1 to 3 p.m. for your chance to win 2 tickets to experience Magic's legendary duo, Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller coming to the Riverside Theater March 27th. Tickets on sale now at papstheatergroup.com.
Don't miss your chance to win tickets. Tune in to Spanning the State this week from 1 to 3 p.m.
Penn and Teller, they continue to defy labels and at times physics and good taste. They've invented their own very distinct niche in comedy.
Penn and Teller coming to the Riverside Theater March 27th.
Hey, this is WTMJ. Steve Scaffidi for Advent. Tossing and turning, snoring, restless nights of sleep. Sound familiar? Doesn't have to be. I had all those things. I had the poor sleep. I had sometimes a tired, grouchy start to my day. Hopefully it didn't show up on the show, but that's the reality for some people. Well, I went to Advent, 30-minute visit. They put me at ease. They answered my questions. For me, with a really simple sleep study added in, my problem, sinuses and nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a very short procedure in one of their great offices, back to breathing better than ever, sleeping through the whole night. That's the key. My wife, Kathy, and I, we enjoy the life, the sleep life, the bed life that we got from Advent. That can be you. So you want to find out? Find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better. Go to adventknows.com. Don't wait. Do it today. Schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
We're on the air in 3, 2.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano.
John Mercure here.
Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late.
We're on the air in 3, 2.
Recognize my voice? Get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds.
Are you ready to shake things up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee? All you gotta do is toss your rewards card into your favorite slots for drawing entries and a chance to be in the Roll for Riches game show. What's on the table? Oh, just $300K in cash and prizes. Play this March, and Thursday nights, you could get on a winning streak that, frankly, you deserve. Let it ride and roll for riches. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off your Luckstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Now it's time for Love and Rogers on the Political Power Hour.
Airs it out. Complete.
What makes you wanting more?
We got to find a way to go win.
And what makes you want to tear your hair out?
Oh, that's a good question.
We're going to be Friday, the second to last segment on the Political Power Hour, Friday Origin Story edition. Joe, you're up first. Rogers Love, which way are you going?
I'm going to try to lower my blood pressure, maybe do 2 loves this week. I had the opportunity to spend a couple days with members of building trades unions this week, and I love what I am hearing from them about a sea change in the way that young people are being communicated with in education. That, like, when I was growing up, it was like you're going to college after you're done with high school. In a lot of communities, it's like you got 2 options after college or after high school. You go to college or you go into the military. The schools have apparently gotten the message, and way more young people today are understanding that there is a pathway to a career through the trades. So if college isn't for everybody or military service isn't right, they are letting people know there's another option, which is join the building trades. That's a really, really good thing for the long-term health of our economy. It's really good for working families. Like, I was really glad to hear that from the mouths of building trades journeymen.
All right, hold your other love. Bill McCoshen, what you got?
I'm in full agreement with Joe on that one. Here. My love this week is for Brittany Kinzer and her campaign. IRG, CJ Zafir has been on your show many, many times. They released a poll this week that showed Brittany Kinzer beating Jill Underly by 2 points. Now, I will acknowledge that it's 22-20, but as Joe knows from his experience in politics, if an incumbent is at 20% on the ballot a month before the election, that is fatal, absolutely fatal. So Kinzer's got the momentum. The number one issue in the race is clearly restoring high standards. In the same IRG poll and also in the Marquette poll, either 60 or 67%, those were the differences, of voters in Wisconsin want to restore high academic standards for our kids. That's Kinzer's issue, or it's their number one issue. Jill Underly is going to be on defense the final 3 weeks. I think I'm starting to smell an upset.
And breaking news, CJ Safer will be on the program next week to talk about all of that, so probably Wednesday. All right, Joe, you said you had another love?
I do. This one's a little more fun. I love any time we get to expose how stupid it is when the GOP proclaims itself the party of free speech. Al Green is a member of Congress. He might not be a good look when he stands up and hollers at the president, but it puts the lie to the Trump, like, we're the party of free speech. No, you're not. You're the party of speech that agrees with Donald Trump. And Al Green was censured by the House. He got his wrist slapped. I'm sorry. I thought you guys were the free speech party. Guess not.
I like the Al Green that's the singer better.
Just me too. Yeah.
Me too. We're the party of decorum. That guy was so out of line. I'm totally fine with the censure. I'd like to see him expelled, to be honest with you. Here's what I'm moving on from this week. Ben Wickler. I have given that gentleman quite a bit of credit on this show, and rightfully so. He is the best fundraiser in the nation for any party, Republican or Democrat. He has brought in tens of millions of dollars through the Democratic Party to statewide liberal candidates in Wisconsin, including more than $10 million to Janet Protasewicz last year, which absolutely helped her trounce Daniel Kelly. Today, he's on Twitter whining about Elon Musk coming into Wisconsin to support Brad Schimmel. It is the ultimate hypocrisy in politics. Ben, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Buckle up, brother, because the Republicans are coming to play for the next 3 weeks.
All right. That's Bill McCoshen, Joseph Pecky. We'll take a quick break here. After the break, you never know what's coming. Grab bag next on the Political Power Hour, 620 WTMJ.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to
fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone.
Spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
Back again and gone again for Hoskins.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Angels Saturday at 2. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. When it comes to your investment retirement plan, setting it and forgetting it, not a great idea. It's time to be nimble because, as you probably noticed, 2025 has its fair share of drama. It's time for Annex Wealth Management. Know where you are, where you can go based on working with Annex for retirement investment planning, tax planning, estate planning. That's what Annex can do for millennials, Gen X, boomers, and the greatest generation. They help singles, couples, and those who have lost spouses. If you're already retired, what a second look at your current plan from somewhere else. Same thing with do-it-yourselfers. I used to be one of those. Annex, who I use, can chart a path forward. It's a great chance to know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. Go to annexwealth.com. Click on the now famous Get Started button. Every day, people just like you are visiting one of their 8 branches or meeting via Zoom. Know the difference. Start at annexwealth.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited puts cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce!
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. All right, since we got most of the politics out of our systems, let's finish up with some grab bags.
It'll be interesting to see where we go with this today. Joseph Pecky, what's on your mind?
I'm coming back to politics. Laws of politics still apply. Use your voice. Some of what we are seeing from President Trump and this administration just this week suggests to me they got their first 50 days report card back, and the polling is not good. It's why he's trying to trim Elon Musk's sales. He sees how unpopular he is. It's why he's doing things like pausing these tariffs, because he sees what's happening with the economy. And I can't say it any better than the New York Times did this week. President Trump inherited an economy that was, by conventional measures, firing on all cylinders. Wages, consumer spending, and corporate profits were rising. Unemployment was low. The inflation rate, though higher than normal, was falling. Just weeks into Mr. Trump's term, the outlook is gloomier. Measures of business and consumer confidence have plunged. Stock market has been on a roller coaster ride. Layoffs are picking up, and forecasters are cutting their estimates for economic growth this year, with some even predicting that the U.S. GDP could shrink in the first quarter. It's not working. This is not the right approach. And as the American people, we have the right to say so and call it out forcefully. And when a pollster calls, if you're pissed off about what's happening, say so, because some laws of political gravity still apply.
Yeah, he'll lose the public pretty quickly if their 401ks tank. All right, Bill McCoshen, grab bag.
Jobs report. The first jobs report of the Trump administration came out about 10 minutes ago. 151,000 new jobs were created nationally and 10,000 fewer federal employees. Both good trends for America going forward. So give the economy some time. It's going to come around. Here's my grab bag. In about 8 minutes, the puck will drop at Capitol Ice Center in Madison for the WIAA State Tournament Division I between Brookfield, which is a co-op team, and Madison Edgewood. They both have really good both have stories that should be told. Brookfield last night, their leading scorer, a young man by the name of Connor Hillig, was named Player of the Year for the entire state. Connor Hillig will be a Janesville Jet and play for me next year in Janesville. Can't wait to get him on our squad, and I hope he does well today. But Madison Edgewood had a very tough road to the state tournament. Last Friday, one of their top 10 leading scorers of all time. A young man by the name of Drew Lentz sadly was killed in a skiing accident in Colorado. And his brother, Aiden, who was also a very good player for Madison Edgewood, and his youngest brother, Dylan, still plays for Edgewood. Aiden spoke to the Edgewood team before their sectional final game last Saturday night against Verona. His little brother, hope I can get through this, ended up having 2 goals and an assist in a 6-0 win. They got a lot to play for today, and I'll be pulling for Edgewood.
Good stuff from Bill and Joe. I'll say this. I spent a lot of time researching Elon Musk and talking about him on the You Need to Listen podcast with Kristen Bride this week that just went live yesterday. I don't think he's a good person, first off. I understand he's the richest person in the world, and there's this weird fascination and cult following that people love to associate themselves with billionaires. But what he's doing to our government, and probably more importantly, the people that work for government, I support government efficiency. I support cutting people and agencies we don't need. But when you do it with no sort of the devil in the details piece, that's a problem. And the thing that scares me and concerns me the most is what I saw, what's being done with veterans. It's inexcusable. It's shameful. And I hope this love affair that Donald Trump has with Elon Musk ends pretty soon. If you want to hear what Kristen and I had to say about it, you can find it on the You Need to Listen podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Joe, you wanted to jump in real quick.
Let's end on this note. New rule proposed by Joe Zepecki. If you are a billionaire and you're in the Oval Office, you have to wear a suit. If you are the leader of a free nation under attack, wear whatever the hell you want.
I agree completely. All right. The news is next with Connie Weber, local, and, of course, latest from ABC. There's also some banners going across the monitors that the president is scheduled to speak from the Oval Office. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but we'll all find out together. And don't forget, Jeff Sherman and the Upswing will follow the news right here on 620 WTMJ. Have a great weekend.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain